Winter has arrived at the homestead. Snow blankets the ground. It's so beautiful. This season brings serenity and peace. It's a magical time of year. It's exciting because new adventures are waiting for us.
Well, good afternoon, folks. Today's November 8th, 2025. We got some snow. Yeah, we're still working on that tiny bathroom, but today we have other priorities. It should stop snowing there in the next few days, so we'll get back to the roof, so we got to get that done. But today it's power. We don't want to use the generator anymore at all. So we're going to work on the solar power. We made a rack there in the back, and we install all the panels that we have. It's kind of fun because up there I've got my little Starlink Mini, which I can run on 12 volt. I'm loving this. Even 24 volt, by the way, because I got a 24 volt system now. Some of these panels come from my old place in off-grid. When I first started, I had these little, right, like that one, 100 watt panel. That's like at the end. That was my first system, but didn't do too much. It's just 12 volt, and you can hook them up together and make a 24 volt system. But it wasn't quite the thing, so I end up buying these, the larger ones. They're like 320 watts each. And I had 4 of these, and I used to run the fridge and my internet and my diesel heater. I had a Chinese one at the off-grid cabin, and I always kept the batteries. I have 4 100 amp batteries that I was using, and they were always in the 100%. It was amazing, and they were flat on the wall outside in the cabin. So now I brought them over here to the new place, and I've doubled the panels. The one thing I made different is I used to use 100 amp lead acid batteries, and they were very heavy, and they didn't seem to last, those ones, so I had to replace the batteries. And so I shopped locally for they had 120 amp batteries, and they wanted $1,200 per battery. So I ended up going on Amazon, and I bought I found eco-worthy, and they had 100 amp batteries for like $4 something. So I ended up buying 4 of those batteries. And then after installing the 4 batteries to these panels, I was amazed. So now I even ordered 2 more 100 watt panels from eco-worthy, and one of those controllers that they have with the wires, because in the bathroom that's over there, I needed to run the bathroom, the fan for the little compost toilet, and then my little diesel heater that I got from the Alaska Dickinson. It also has a 12 volt fan, which doesn't require that much power, so we're going to install those little over there. So when we're going to run the bathroom and that other little heater with those batteries. Today we're going to put the 100 amp ones together, and so now we're going to be up to over 800 amps, plus the other 100 amp battery for the bathroom. And we should be able to run our little cooktop and be able to watch TV and put the computer on, and without having to listen to any generators that go on unless you really, really need it. But yeah, I'm going to go to the battery ones. Yeah, so now today, I'll show you what happens. We've been getting too many packages. Look at this place. There's no more room. Actually, this place we're going to have to sleep here for a while because there's no room. Celine is editing here on the hutch because there's no room. Well, there's the TV on the kitchen table. Wow. And there's the beds. My bed, her bed. And there's the entrance for the tiny bathroom. We can't get in there. So now we've decided we're going to move the batteries and the system. Right? So we're going to put 400 amps of power up there and route it to our inverter down there so we can run those little cook stove tops, the fridge, and probably the fan off of that one. And here we've already got 4 batteries put together, but they're not permanent. This is where we're going to keep the TV, the computer, and some of the lighting to separate the power. They should be enough to run most of what we got for the winter. Hopefully we don't have to run the generator. But we even got a plug for that in another box over there. Because now we have to put that box through a wall so it's more safe and legal. Then having extension come through the bottom of the door. But that's not too good. So today we're going to start with those boxes over here, which are batteries. And we're going to just install those on there. Now what's nice about these Acre-worthy batteries, they come with some of the cables. And what's nice about also these batteries, they're smart batteries. And they are capable of warming themselves up if you put them in a cold place. And that's pretty awesome to me. And what's nice about these lithium batteries compared to a gel or an acid battery, they're so heavy, the other ones. These 2 batteries, and it's still lighter than one of the other batteries put together, which is really, really nice. I used to even sneak one on my boat to start my boat because they're so light. The only way I do this, I go. These are actually 12 volt lithium batteries, 100 amp, 12.8. Well, I'm going to hook them together and turn them into 24 volt for my system. I just find it's more efficient and it has better power. And now I'm going to haul them upstairs on the 2nd floor. And this is like, look at this, man. Wow.
It's time to buy now. Check out these incredible savings.
I used to use a 100 amp gel, but they never really worked for me. So I gave them a try. And with Amazon, if you don't like it, you can always return it. I love Amazon. So I bought those. I used them at my other off-grid cabin. I never ran out of power for the batteries or the heater. So when I came here to this cabin and we changed our place, we end up bringing those panels, but we got another 2 big panels, 2 of 320, which we're going to add a few 100 watts together and turn them into 24 volts. This is actually a 24 volt system. I find it's more efficient. Even though now they've got a bigger, newer system, but I'm not ready for one of those yet, but I know this. I know it works for me, so I stuck with it.
We'll show you how to wire for a 24 volt system.
Yeah.
You can use 12 volt batteries, and depending on how you wire them, then you can create a 24 volt system, which is more efficient.
Yeah, and you want them fully charged individually too, they say, before you put them together. So to go 24 volt with a 12 volt system, you put 2 of these batteries, a positive to a negative. Same as over there, you put a positive to a negative. Then you run your positive to positive, negative to negative, you've got a 24 volt system, which is very reliable, it's very energy efficient, and it runs good.
And what's that inverter for?
The inverter is, I'm putting it into it because I'm going to be running a stove top power.
So we got an induction cook plate is what we're going to be using.
Yeah, a lot of the adventurers you'll watch on TV that do a lot of jeeping, but they drive all day to charge them, and they have those other kind of systems to keep them charged. That's what they use in an induction oven, stovetop, boils quick. So we're figuring it should be very efficient for this cabin, so we're going to give it a shot. And I like to buy this next weekend is to be doing my percolated coffee on this hot stop.
Okay, and what about these bus bars? What are those for?
Well, those is because you can't fill. My fridge has 2 of those eyelets, so you can put to the battery, right? But then if you start putting a lot of wires in it, it gets too busy, and then there's you can only put so much with the screws, and these cables are very big and thick. So what I do is after I've got this in my 24 volt, which is positive to positive, negative to negative. I'll take one of these each and bring it to the bus bar. So I've got a negative bus bar and a positive bus bar. And from there, then you can go to your lights. There's 10 bars, big bars each on each of these. This is really a big size. I didn't really need that much. I liked about it is because it has little screws in the end. So now for like little wiring, like for lights, which only take a few amps, you can run lights with an inline fuse to your lights from this. And then you got lots of, this is too big. I could have probably went for this place half. Because you can't really put more than 4 of these batteries together either. These are lithium batteries. Very powerful. So I've got 2 systems now that are 4 batteries each. Plus I got one by itself, which will be a 12 volt to run my little diesel heater, which is 12 volt. And my Serengeti, I'm not too sure what they call it. It's a compost toilet, which also has a little 12 volt venting for outside. So it runs on 12 volts. So I'm going to be running those 2 together with a 100.
All of a sudden it started snowing. We're having a little mini snowstorm.
All right.
So we cooked a roast on the barbecue.
Oh boy, did we ever.
Look at
the juice.
It is very juicy.
Yeah. My son bought me an event carving set. It's beautiful, it works great. Oh my. Thank you, Jesse. Actually, I think I want to keep some of that juice for my potato.
Yes.
We don't want to make a leak here. Oh, look at this. All right. Oh, it's leaking out, so let's hurry up.
It's an emergency.
Oh, yes it is. That's for Mr. Potato. Mr. Potato. Here, how about you, Mama?
Okay. Like a piece of meat.
Look at that. That's 3 hours on the queue.
2 hours.
2 hours? Nice, yeah, it's true. And then the potatoes.
Yeah, 1 hour for the potatoes.
Nice piece for you. Oh, wow.
That's big, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'll cut it in half.
All right. You want some apple? You want some of this juice?
No, it's okay.
You don't want any at all?
Sunday, November 9th, we're installing the floor in the Hobbit bathroom. I think 1 box will probably be enough. But we really like this floor, so if it goes on good, it wasn't that expensive.
Very nice.
So if it looks good and it gets installed good, we will maybe get some for the whole cabin instead of bringing the other box back that we have.
How's it look?
The puppies are hiding under the bed because we just moved too much. Hey puppies. They're tired. Yeah. It's melting outside today. I've been editing another video. while Jerry's working on the floor. See, the fox came by last night. See his little footprints. Cocoa Beans and Kiki had a little hiss fit this morning when they smelled that. To set up the cameras and catch them on camera. So it's going in very good, and we really like it. It's like 3 different colors of gray. And because it's being really messy in the cabin, and you can't really wash this floor that well, we will wash it though before we install the vinyl flooring. We're gonna order enough of this for the whole cabin because we really like it. And it's $2.33 a square foot. So it's not going to cost us that much at all to do the floor. That's for the vent or what?
What? Which one?
There's one right there.
The other white one?
No, not the white one. The one that's coming out there.
That's the vent.
How nice.
Yeah.
How much watts are coming in?
Can I put the light on or?
The big light? Yes. All right. Jerry just put in the last piece, and he's gonna glue the floor on the, probably gonna glue the whole floor maybe, on the cover anyways, because that's his access to his plumbing in case you ever need to go like clean out the P-trap or.
Yeah, now it's going to need a few days to dry, but yeah.
Yeah, it's got to dry, and then Jerry's been going in and out of the snow.
So next thing is probably an air vent, and then we're going to do the...
Yeah, we've been having showers in here, even though it's just on the blue waterproof. See, we got a little shower curtain. And that, but we're choking when we have a shower. Like choking so much, both of us. And that's because there's no air. There's no fresh air intake yet for the hot water on demand, which is crucial. It's another one of those combustion fuel things, just like the Alaska diesel heater, just like our T100 American company stove. See, that one needs fresh air from outside. So that's what we're anxious to see, is what all these fresh air intakes are going to do when it's 40 below. We shall see. So far, everything's working okay. That was one of the problems with the diesel heater, for sure. The minute we put the 3-inch fresh air intake, and nowhere does it tell you how big of a fresh air intake should you make, like what size hole. So we kind of like went 3 inches. It's back there. And it's been a game changer in how this thing works. That's what it was lacking. That and fuel adjustment. So Jerry installed the vent for the cold air intake. We're missing a 90-degree elbow to go outside. But it's been an issue not having that. We've been choking in the shower, like I mentioned before. And now Jerry is installing the service valves for the hot water on demand. There's a cold and a hot water shutoff because these systems have to be flushed out once a year. They have to be cleaned out. There's stuff that you use. I think it's vinegar. I'm not sure. When we do it, we'll show you. But yeah, in order to keep them going, you gotta clean them out. And this is what the shutoff valves look like. It was $100 for a set of the 2 shutoffs. $110 with the little parts needed for assembly. Sunday evening, About -4 today, the high. We are going to go back up to the pluses, like +3, 4, 5, for about a week. So that's what the forecast is anyways. So this snow probably won't last. And tonight I'm making ham pizza on the barbecue. Again, that's just the pizza dough from the refrigerated roll. And then we got some shredded cheese, some sliced ham, and some pizza sauce out of a squeeze. We want to do like an outdoor kitchen right there. So, yeah, that's one of our very next projects. It's a magpie. Put apples out for them. It smells good. Check. Turning into a barbecue chef. I'll start a YouTube channel just with barbecue cooking. Supper time. It's Monday morning. We're going to the post office to pick up our solar panels and our wires. They were delivered there. Amazon does that sometimes. They use Canada Post. And for some reason, Canada Post doesn't deliver here. Well, actually, the reason is there's no mail delivery in the town because there's only 300 people. So everybody has a post office box at the post office. And look, pretty snow today. And we've had, I'm going to show you if I can. Look, everywhere, all over the property. Our little fox was here last night. All there, all those tracks over there are all his. Jerry woke up in the middle of the night to go to the washroom and he saw the little fox. He was all happy. He was getting the little puppy's dog treats. Let's see if they plowed our road. Good thing we got big snow tires and a Jeep because they've not opened our road. We had what? How many centimeters of snow? 14 centimeters of snow.
Not more.
Which is like 6 inches, 5.5 inches. And they didn't even plow our road. This is just from people driving by. Right?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Oh my gosh. What's wrong?
The goats were here, that's why.
The goats go far, right?
Yeah.
These are campers from like hunters set up to go hunting. Woo! So no more needles on the tamaracks. It's all gone. That's that for that.
There's something going on here. Somebody's got trouble with people meeting people here.
Can't see. Yeah.
Not on the four-wheel drive.
No, we're not using our four-wheel drive. We'll put it on and engage it if we need to. No, somebody's been there. Sebastian. That's who lives down there. That's Sebastian. So yeah, none of even the town streets look like they've been opened. The highway, yes, because that's different. Let's see here. This is the road going to the post office and it's not even been plowed. Like, yes, it is going to melt because the weather is going to go above, but usually there's like some ordinance or something that if it snows more than like 5 centimeters, they have to open the roads. But I guess there's not enough money in this village for much snowplow. Watch out, dudes, get out of the way. Look at these guys talking in the middle of the road. So this is the big post office. It's actually like in the front of somebody's house. And where the post office boxes are, it's like about, I don't know, 4 feet by 8 feet, 4 feet by 6 feet. Very tiny. All right, so this was not foreseen. You can see ice. See that sheet of ice that's coming off the top roof? Well, that's not good. That's telling us there's not enough insulation in our ceiling. So this morning we've been brainstorming and looking at our ceiling to see what we're going to do. And I think we've come up with a solution. Here's our solar panels, our eco-worthy 100 watts, 100 watts. I always get confused with these watts and these amps and all this stuff.
I just don't have the room. There.
They're nice and small, eh, compared to their other.
They're not like they used to be.
Yeah.
I could actually just do instead is put the lights all on that 24 volt converter that we have, the 12 volt.
Yeah.
And add those to that because that's a 24 volt system. But if you put 200 watts together, like you put a negative to a positive, the other negative and positive become 24 volts. And the way the breaker box is made in the back is you have room for four solar panels altogether. And right now I've got 4 big ones together, and I got 2 or with 100 watt ones. So by putting this, I would fill it up with a 24 volt system by putting 200 watts together, and I'd have enough room to put it to the other breaker box. It would give me over like 1,000 watts.
Because you can always convert. You can convert 12 volt to 24 volt.
Yeah.
You can
and
get
right now the only 12 volt you have is the toilet.
the lights.
And the lights and the little wood stove, but I mean they're barely taking any amps.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Somebody shoot.
Oh, somebody's shooting. So we got that and the cables today. Yeah. All right, so we don't feel bad or silly or anything like that because it is what it is. And when you're moving into a new space that you create yourself, things change. Things change as you are using the space. And from us watching other shows too of off-gridders and tiny van lifers and stuff like that, people change the inside of their small spaces all the time. So it's a good thing that we haven't closed up this ceiling yet, because as I just showed you, there's ice forming on that roof. There's like 2 roofs sort of. And so that's telling us there's definitely not enough insulation. So it's a good thing that we didn't close this up yet. So now we have 2 options. We could either add 2 inches of styrofoam insulation, the rigid blue kind, which is $50 a sheet, and do that to the whole top, which means more strapping, which means more nailing. It'd be a lot of work to do that, and it'd be kind of expensive too, the more expensive option. It would keep it all open though, which is kind of the look that we liked. But I mean, push comes to shove, we've given up that as a storage also because we just don't, there's no way that would be accessible, especially once all this is developed here in the front. How are you going to access that up there? Like there's going to be things down here, right? Like furniture and stuff or cabinets. So we're closing that up for sure. And what we're decided to do is we're going to leave the 2x6s exposed as beams, but we're going to close the ceiling on top of that everywhere. And we're going to put 6 inches of insulation sitting on top of that. Now, when you do that, then we have to open up these 2 vents back up again at both ends, because we're going to need air, because that's going to become like an attic. Then we also have to deal with this, because we don't want heat in the attic. So this is going to have to be closed off. So there's a lot of thinking and MacGyvering and planning. But today we're changing all this around. We're putting our beds over here. We're putting the fridge over here. We don't have any room. We don't have any room to walk around. And we do need to have access to the bathroom, when right now we don't have access to the bathroom. Jerry's bed is too close to the wood stove also. So, yeah. Yeah. So it's good, because we've had a couple of nights of minus 13, 14. And that's where that kind of taught us that we need to make some changes.
Yeah, and there was a cup of diesel that went back in the overflow, so I think maybe when it's on first, it's not quite burning yet. Maybe it's just not rich enough for fuel for the amount of air going.
I'm going to send them an email.
But it seems to, but I look overall, I made a mark this morning, and when I add it, I used about this much in the 5 gallon. So right now I'm using about that on, mostly on 1.1. So either I turn it down a bit, the fuel, but it seems to work good. Though once you put it at 1.2, 1.3, no problem. But on that first,
it doesn't want to, and then we seem to be going through fuel more than what other people were saying. Apparently, a 5 gallon should last us a week.
Yeah.
Well, us a 5 gallon lasted
5
us
days.
like 5 days.
Yeah.
But not, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a gallon for 24 hours. And I left it on for 2 days, and I thought I felt like I used more than that.
Oh, okay.
At first, right?
So yeah, it should be a 5 gallon in 5 days, and we use that in like 2.5 days. So we're like, what? And it wasn't even on high. So we shall see if we can fix that too. So we're not getting discouraged, because things are moving slowly now, but they're still moving forward, and we will make it work. So here we are, moving everything around. The unit's now over there, which I don't know if it's going to stay right there. And that, I don't know where that's going to go. And there's my bed. It's going there, and Jerry's bed's going to go here. We're going to move it from here. Trying to evaporate water on the stove because it's so dry in here. That's why it's going to help us when we start
doing the second
cooking
ceiling.
more in here too. Yeah.
Yeah, so first we have to bring all the wood that way, and we're going to slide that way. We need to rebrace too this because it's too far apart. We can make squares here. Actually, what we could probably do is like make squares with 2x6 or a 2x4. Let your boy play with the levels and just slide those on top and staple them on because the insulation doesn't weigh anything. And put the insulation on top of those sheets.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's a finish at the same time, silicone, paint it.
Yeah, that's a great idea actually.
I'm trying to do this least expensive as possible.
Yeah, plus we already bought this.
Yeah.
So we want to use it up. Now we have too much of it. But
Not something I would crawl on though, actually.
yeah.
That's supposed to go back up there anyways. That's what insulation, who likes to play in there?
So we're getting there.
A lot of moving stuff.
It makes us clean everything too. We're cleaning the floor as we go, like spot cleaning everything. So it's going to be back in good shape.
What people don't realize what goes on behind the scenes here is you see me doing a lot of work too, but since I'm so busy doing the editing, I have to do the cleaning too, and I have to catch up today. So I'm taking a break from renovations, and I'm doing dishes, dusting, cleaning. Everything. I'll tell you that The editing is a lot more work than you think.
It is.
I've done it a lot, and if I was there doing it right now, there'd be a lot of beeping. Yeah.
Beeping while editing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're actually caught up with our shots, so now I like.
Now we're having second thoughts on the shower. It's a little bit hobbit-ishy. It could turn into a storage for food and clothes. Water's okay there. The pump could maybe go there, but it doesn't hurt in the corner. But yeah, we need a bedroom.
Yeah. Jerry is a Libra. Libras do change their minds also.
Well, I just don't want to waste the money on putting a nice expensive tile on that shower. If I could make a nice shower on the other side, that's like a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do need storage.
We do. It's not
going
to be wasted. No.
That's where the waistline had to go outside anyways.
Yeah.
That's where all the water goes.
Ooh, I know what we could put in there. Are you ready for this?
What?
Because there's drains and everything.
A big sink.
The laundry machine.
That's even better.
The laundry machine that's coming. I ordered a cute little laundry washing machine.
That's what I would do too.
Yes.
That's
we're going to hang our clothes to dry.
Yeah.
Which is good because that's going to help bring moisture into this place.
If we clean every couple of days,
yeah,
we could have a line that crosses across that.
Uh-huh.
And we can just hang our shirts and pants.
Or even here too, like around the stove, if we're getting the wood stove going. Yeah. All right, back to work.
See, if we only took a shower once a week, then that would save us all this money and
once a week
and washing our clothes, so we only have to go to town once a month.
No,
but it's taking your clothes off would be a job.
You need a lot of clothes.
You know what I mean? Eh?
You're talking laundry. So this is the result of our reorganization. I slept a lot better last night too, because it's cooler. I like it very cool when I'm sleeping. So I slept here. Jerry slept here. It's still like very cramped in here. Like we're gonna go crazy, I think. Until behind the television there is where the opening is going to be for the bedroom. And the wood stove is here when you walk in. So we decided we're only allowed to have one pair of shoes when we come in. We're going to put hooks here for coats, which is going to be fine. It's to be very minimalistic. And right now, because we're setting everything up, well, there's tools, there's all kinds of stuff in here. There's boxes of products waiting to be installed. There's tons of that. I like to order ahead of time because you never know when it's going to come in. So our coffee station is here now. And that's the little washroom. So now their portable toilet is actually in the bathroom. The compost toilet is not installed yet. We still have to put the hose through. We were missing a part for that. And then this is what Jerry's charging this battery here. He's going to charge them all. Yeah. And then this is our little entertainment center. And we put our big hutch like this, which kind of cuts the cabin in half, sort of, but that's the only place we can put it right now. The poos have been great through this. They're actually handling the situation. They like it. They like when we move things around. So do we. It feels good to move things around. Gives us a little bit more walking space. Not much though. Now that's where the kitchen's going to be. The fridge is going to go from there to there. Yeah. In this corner, and then the cooktop's going to go beside it. Kitchen sink's going to be here. I have a washing machine coming also, which is going to go here.
We realized after we insulated the top how much warmer it got in here.
Yes.
But really,
yes, this
whole cabin should be all insulated that way.
Yes.
The little barn is really cute.
Yes.
But even if I was to make the ceiling thicker, there won't be any ceilings left. Because technically a house has a R40 value in the ceiling to keep your heat in.
Yeah.
And that's not happening here. You can tell by the top. I thought because it was small me and a wood stove it would work. I was just dreaming. You know, you just make yourself believe stuff because it's so fairy tale. You know, oh yeah, it's gonna work. No.
Reality
Yeah,
is not
reality
always.
is you need to insulate if you want to, because those stoves do only burn for about 3 hours and it'll keep their heat. But if you don't have any insulation, it's just gonna cool down too fast, and you're gonna spend your night getting up.
Yeah.
And if I don't want my diesel heater just to burn fuel for nothing, it's all about efficiency.
Yeah.
It's about you need thicker. The styrofoam, 2 inches of styrofoam is 20.
R20.
R20, and it's $45 for a 2x8 sheet. So you're looking at 2,000-3,000 to do the ceilings.
Yeah.
At least, and it's still then you're coming out 4 more inches.
And you're not going to have that much, right?
No, they won't. Well, I can't even crawl anymore now since that's done.
Yeah.
Once I'd have a ceiling done.
Yeah.
You can't go even here how small they would be. They brought this one down though.
Yeah. So we're going to bring the ceiling up to the top of the 2x6s.
Yeah.
And then it'll be kind of like
Yeah, we don't
open beam concept sort of, and it'll still be high enough. And it'll be cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter, which is what all of this is about. It's
living off grade, but living too. You don't want to spend your.
you
time
want to
just
live
working
well,
for nothing.
and you
Yeah.
want to live for the least amount of money as possible,
Yeah,
so that you don't have to spend your time working for it, and you don't have to stress over money, because you're self-sufficient.
This is what the idea is.
That's the point of all this.
Because worst case scenario too, if you don't find the walls thick enough at that value, because apparently they have about an R20 value with that styrofoam, which is an acceptable
Our value
R value.
for walls.
But we could also just take the panels off, add 2 more inches of styrofoam insulation in here, and then you got yourself something really warm.
If we need to do that.
Yeah, but then you would lose a lot.
But I think once we do this, the ceiling, I think we're going to be fine. But time will tell.
Yeah, one step at a time.
One step at a time. Yeah. What's in your head is not always what materializes when it comes down to real life.
Oh.
I don't know if you've noticed that most nothing that you can dream up, think about, plan ahead
That's why
for
I said it's very fairy tale when you're thinking
works.
of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's going to make it work.
It's very
Yeah.
rare that you actually, foresee something and that's exactly how it turns out. That's not how life is. Jerry wired the solar panel wires going to the other MPPT3. That's where they're coming in from outside. We're going to build a shelf here with hooks for coats. So all those wires will be hidden. And then look at that. How beautiful job. You wired that. And then it goes in here. And down to the other MPPT controller. And then it's going to go down to the batteries.
Did you notice today? It's been flashing for over an hour. It's been charged already, so it's been running our fridge all night. With the other day's weather, overcast. The fridge and the internet, our Starlink works 24 hours a day on 24 volt. And look, the batteries have been charged for a long time. Now it's just maintaining it.
Yeah, and it's a cloudy day. The sun hasn't been out at all. And when it's flashing like that slow, they call that float, where it's just keeping the batteries charged 100%. And it's minimizing what's coming in.
And like what, 31 watts now?
Yeah. So that's excellent. Our solar panels are working very well. Tonight it's pork chops, carrots, and potatoes, all in butter on the barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Tasty. Saturday morning here in northern Ontario, and all night last night we could hear it raining hard, and now this is glare ice, like just glare ice. It's still raining now actually, and all the snow has a crust on it of glare ice. So we were gonna cut some plywood and stuff today to start finishing the ceiling inside. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. It's supposed to be snow. It's supposed to be 3 degrees today and snow, but I think it wants to turn to rain. So good luck. It's just pouring rain. It's like 10 a.m. and it's still pouring rain. Keeps changing from freezing rain to pouring rain to a mix of rain and snow. See, this is all frozen. You know what that's called? It's called the day off. Mother Nature said, Celine and Jerry, you guys need the day off. And we said, okay, you win. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera, but you can just hear the rain pelting on the tin roof. It's a good thing we don't need to go anywhere because our road was never plowed and we had 6 inches of snow last Friday and it's just been driven on, so now you could just imagine what that road looks like. Jerry took the tractor this morning and brought it up to the road to where the sand pile is, which the sand pile is frozen, but he's going to dig through it with his backhoe if he needs to, so that if we need to spread sand here to get out of here for traction, we'll be able to do so. In the meantime, we're just chilling in the cabin and taking a little break.
Yeah, we got up this morning, raining all night, wet everywhere, frozen, and now look what we got. Big, heavy snow.
So today we're working on 2 different projects. Jerry just cut our beautiful countertop. It's acacia wood made in Vietnam, bought at Home Hardware. We paid $219 for a 6-foot countertop, 6 feet by 25 inches. So we have one for, this is going to be the cooking area. Our fridge is going to go right there beside it. We're going to put our convection cooktop on here, and we might get a toaster oven or something like that. I don't know. I think we're going to do most of our cooking of that type outside on the campfire. And then we're going to finish setting up the solar panels for the fridge with the batteries. And the other counter is there. And it's going to go in this disaster area here, which is going to be our sink. I have a black stainless sink.
Here I got 4 12-volt eco-worthy batteries, and I'm going to make them into a 24-volt system. So don't look at the color of the wires because I just don't have any other colors. I know we're free with the batteries. That's pretty awesome. So what I've done is I take one of the batteries, I put them side by side with a positive and a negative, put that together. I did the same thing with the other 2 over there. I put a positive and a negative. I'm using this just so I know they're just on which one's my 24 and which one's the other 24. And now what I'm going to do is run a negative to the negative and a positive to the positive. And here's my 24-volt system battery. Then I take I'll show you later what it's going to look like. I'll take the negative of this one to the negative power bar, and the same as the red to a positive bar. And this is where I'm going to take all my other wiring and wire it to these. So now you can put all this different, this is kind of big. This is like too big. But you can put smaller wires where you can, like for lights or a little fan, you can take off from here, but I won't really have to. And so my inverter is going to be connected to this, and my fridge also. So now it gives me more room to plug to. Otherwise your batteries get too full and it's not good. And in my inverter, well, I like to put a big fuse in between, because there's a lot of juice in here. So this is actually to protect your equipment and your stuff. So that's going to be on this too. So you could imagine all this on your batteries, it wouldn't look good. So we'll show you in a few minutes what it looks like when it's all put onto this. It's a lot cleaner and better. And if you ever want to do this yourself, you can go to YouTube, but I would only check the sites from companies that install the panels and the batteries. Their information is accurate. So always go to a professional site, and you got to be safe with this stuff.
That second white light is telling us that it's recognizing that it's connected to the batteries.
Yeah, now we're going to have to set it to lithium.
Yes.
Now what I've done is, this is 212 put together, like I said before. I know by the black and I know now by the red, but this is 24 volt each. And instead of getting it all messy, I brought these two together, and I put one to the positive. I did the same thing with the negative. I went negative to negative, and then up to the negative bar. So now I got my solar power coming in here. My inverter is the red and the black, the fuse. So now you know, right? It's not messy. Everything's got a place, got fuses. And now the only thing I got to do is go outside and flick the breakers for the solar panel, and then we're in business.
And he passed the wires through there.
And what's nice, you can also
to the inverter, which
put
is
the covers
here.
on.
Yes, which is
Ça a pas marché, ça. Faut que j'aille descendre. I didn't know.
too high.
Yeah.
Oh, you need more room for the cover.
Yeah, because that's what's nice about that. Drop this one a bit.
So it says the batteries are 100%.
Mode on manual.
26.6 volt. Set. Yeah. Alright, so you can hear the pouring rain on the roof. There we go. By charging at 18 watts. We are live. We got the power. Even on a day like today when it's raining, it's still charging. So it looks like, if I read this correctly, my batteries are full. They're brand new, so they're full. And right now it's just doing a tiny little top up. So this is all going to be concealed as well because we're going to be finishing the ceiling with the mahogany there, adding a bit more insulation. And then here, right underneath here, I have a 24-volt fume hood fan with lights. It's nice and thin profile. And then here we're going to do a backsplash. So we're going to put some tile there. And yeah, we'll shim up the wall and the wires will be concealed. And on our new countertop, we're going to put our cooktop. So, and then it'll plug into here, which is our inverter. And that is a pure sine wave 3000 watt inverter. So that's safe for electronics, so I'll be able to... Ouch. That was a drill. Yeah, it's a 3000 watt.
Yeah, that should run the stove top. Are you in a toaster oven if you'd want to?
Yeah, a toaster, anything.
Coffee machine.
Coffee machine. So there we go. We're all done. Covers all. And then this too will all be concealed after, and then this will be storage underneath. Jerry's going to make some shelves. So voila.
Yeah, we used to be propane, and we decided to go all solar for cooking inside. And then we've been lucky with the unique 24-volt fridge.
Yeah, that one's worked really well for us. That's been running off solar for a while now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's going to be moved over here. We're just going to make sure the batteries are 100% topped up. 100%. We just installed our first light in the cabin. Woohoo!
So we're going to go
This
here.
is the 12 volt. We have a reducer.
No.
No, back up again. We put the load on, so now there's power going to that. You can tell by that third light being lit. And now, is the moment of truth.
Power!
Yay! We have light. Huh.
Yeah, one light in here. Wait till it gets dark. We'll try it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Now I'm taking that off the load from the MPPT controller.
Yes.
That's pretty darn cool.
Wonderful.
Brewing coffee for the first time in the morning with my coffee percolator and my solar power.
Still have yet to connect the compost toilet. That's not connected yet because we're missing plumbing for that. Yeah, so we're doing the best we can with what we have. We have to, and then today we're working on this. We've got plywood. We have no choice. Our original plans are paved with good intentions, which you know where that leads. So as you might remember, when we did the spray foam insulation, it was a fiasco and a disaster, and putting it up there didn't really work really well. If you can see, there's a lot of areas where there's not much insulation. And at $540 a box, we would have needed way more boxes to continue. And so that's not happening. So we were going to just leave it like this, you know, just close that up after, but after the snowfall we just had, which was kind of a blessing in disguise, it's kind of teaching us that there's not enough insulation on the roof. So these are our options. We could put styrofoam insulation up here, like the blue sheets, but we're still going to have a gap where you can see, like right there. You see where there's not enough insulation? So we decided that we're going to put plywood. We're going to lose the cathedral look. And so we're going to put plywood on top of this. And then we're going to put insulation. We're still going back and forth. We haven't picked it up yet on whether we're going to blow insulation up there and just fill the whole cavity, or are we going to put a foot of fiberglass insulation and then reopen up the two vents to let a little bit of air through. So it's like 6 of one or half a dozen of the other. We'll see what Jerry decides to do. And yeah, things you don't foresee when purchasing a tiny house that's on 2x4 construction when you live in Northern Ontario. But again, I'm gonna come to our defense and say that time was of the essence. We needed to get into something before the winter came, and we only had like 3 months to do it. So buying a building that was already finished, we shall see. Sorry to be talking over the generator again, but I wanted to show you guys that because Jerry's working so hard. I'm cooking him some bacon again on the barbecue. It's -2 degrees out today, but with the wind chill, the wind is 50 kilometers an hour, so it feels like -12. So it's really cold and yucky. Just saying. But Jerry's worth it, so we have to help each other out. I know he'll appreciate it. Here's the result: a barbecue, bacon and eggs, and toast. So it's kind of exciting. Doesn't look like we're going to work this week though, because we're supposed to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And look at the forecast for Wednesday. And look at the forecast for Thursday.